Hi everyone, my name is Jay Capps and I'm in the Music Production Bachelor's program here at Full Sail, and this is my final project. For my final project, I decided to go with music composition for a video game. My passion for this particular focus is just one of the many passions that I've got of the five that were presented to us to choose from. I've actually applied for a position with a company to do sound design and music for them, and so I thought I might use this to help pad my resume and help along, hopefully, with the hiring process when and if it should come to that. When I took the class earlier this year for music composition, game music composition, really discovered that I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. There was an immediate reward seeing the results of your music being matched up with a video game, and it was actually kind of fun and inspiring, just really lit off a lot of creativity and ideas for me. My musical strengths and weaknesses are probably similar to a lot of others in the program. My strengths, I've discovered that I've got a pretty good ear for coming up with hooks, pretty good feel for that. Pleasantly surprised with that because I think until I kind of learned some of the rules, I always had a hard time just coming up with the hooks, and I could hear them in popular music and all that, but actually writing them was a bit more of a challenge. And I think that's where my weakness comes in, is that I'm a perfectionist. So if I hear something that I'm not completely 100% behind, and I think as any of us are, we're perfectionists. We don't want to put anything out there that represents us that isn't 100% something we can be proud of. So perfectionism slows me down. It causes some issues. But I'm learning a little bit more about the psychology behind all that and how to work a little faster, not to second guess yourself, that sort of thing. My production strengths and weaknesses are kind of similar to my musical strengths and weaknesses in the sense that that I have a good ear for catchy melodies. It inspires me when I hear an artist that I'm mixing and producing that they're on a certain path, and I can make suggestions. I'm coming up with some creative ideas that hopefully are helpful to the artist in getting their message across, or coming out with a more polished product in the end. But again, perfectionism takes over, and I realized that, again, I think I can tweak something a little better, or I want to try a different technique. So it's hard for me to let go of something or finally get to that finish line. So again, working a little faster, getting things to a certain point and putting it to bed, I think will be very helpful for me in the future. The immediate goals I have for after graduation, I kind of alluded to already. I put my resume in for a position at a video game company in Austin, Texas, and to do sound design. And again, it was one of those things that timing was right. The job posting popped up, and I discovered it. And having fun in the video game composition class, I really thought, okay, here's some experience that I can get a hold of. That'll get me to the next, stage of my career, or the first stage, maybe, if you will. Also, I'm working with a company, production company that produces a show for PBS. They're based out of Waco, Texas, and they have had a show for the last 20 years called Texas Music Cafe. Features a lot of local Texas artists, from Willie Nelson to the guy that plays guitar, at the barbecue joint around the corners. So I've decided to choose the Blob Escape video game by Salty Juggernaut. The video game has a very retro feel. It's a 2D platformer that I think has a lot of character and just seems really fun. Obviously, that retro thing, like I was saying. Um, they have some ideas that they'd like, a Mission Impossible type theme mixed with comedic elements that I think can just make it really fun for the player. And it just, again, it kind of goes along with the projects that I've already worked on at Full Sail for game, composition for the 2D platformer, bean shooter game that we worked on a few months ago. The Blob Escape game has 5 levels with up to 6 rooms on each level. The creators are looking for a different theme maybe for each level, but basically you could have the same music or maybe a variation of the theme for each of the 6 rooms on those levels. So there's a lot of room for creativity and some hopefully unique ideas or fun ideas anyway. I feel as though my music will help to elevate the suspenseful elements, hopefully, in the game, as well as create some of the fun with some light, easy, fun melodies that that are humorous, maybe in the way that you can get some of that fun, kind of like the like Mario themes, from Nintendo over the years. So, as far as the instrumentation for Blob Escape, I'm gonna use chiptune or otherwise very simple instrumentation, not to muddy it up, because obviously it's not a very complicated game if it's got that retro 8-bit type of a feel. So I don't want the music should match what you're seeing on screen. The premise of the Blob Escape game is that a blob comes aware after a lab accident and realizes that it's got to round up his buddies and trying to escape the lab to get away from the evil testing that's being done to them. I want to say good luck to everyone, all the Full Sailors that are working on their final projects. Hopefully you have great inspiration and luck, and we'll see you at the finish line.